afternoon, world. Uh, Whew. Gang, I slept until 10:40. I have not slept until 10:40 a.m. years. I am not exaggerating. It is not hyperbole when I say I get up at 3:45. At least the last 5 years. Like, sleeping in is like 6 a.m. How did everyone else survive the full moon? I feel like this past 8 days, I'm just spent. The full moon really took me for a ride. So, yeah, it's kind of a languid, slow day. Hey, Blackie, I'm gonna go Blackie here. Okay, so true to Spirit let me sleep in, but then Spirit was quick too. It was like, you can lie in bed, but I'm gonna start whispering in your ear. Okay, so first going back, I want to start with the shirt because I took some quick notes. There was a lot. I've taken kind of the cold notes to just so I can kind of remember. So quickly, I have a Virgo rising. This full moon was in Virgo. Virgo has a lot of perfectionist issues, and part of the download that we'll get into in a second because it has to do with buttons. I really wanted to wear this shirt. And little known fact, I hate wrinkles. I hate wrinkles so hard. The idea of wrinkly clothes just sends me, like, I'll do it, but it's not my favorite. And I really didn't want to take the time to iron. Like, I wanted to get going with the day because it's already kind of late. But then it's important because I was looking at the wrinkles and there's a whole piece here about all bodies are good bodies. All bodies are good bodies. All bodies are good bodies. So we're gonna get into it. The shirt kind of serves two purposes because there's this thing about the button. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about bodies because someone in here needs to be reminded that all bodies are good bodies. You can come with your wrinkles, whatever, we'll get into it. Okay. Okay, so the very first thing I heard was Patti Smith's song, Horses. I believe the song is called Horses. I know it's off the album Horses. Excuse me, my allergies are really revving up, folks. But before the song Horses kicks in, it kind of starts with this poem. And it builds, right? So she's kind of going into this poem. And there's something about this character, Johnny. So perhaps one of you is named Johnny, or you have a crush on someone named Johnny. Johnny comes up twice, because then we get into John Waters, whatever. So that was the first thing, and we'll swing back around to the horses, but that was truly the thing that I woke up with, because she gets into, after the poem, you hear her, and it's like building, and she's like, horses, 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 and I'm like, again, I like that kind of momentum. So, and I love Patti Smith. When I used to live in New York, every single year on her birthday, she always performs on her birthday in New York. And I always went, even when I was sick. There was this one time I had a fever. I had to lay in the back on the floor. I love Patti Smith. Or maybe one of you's named Patty. Again, names don't really come through that often, but I'm trying to be more mindful of, like, when I'm hearing stuff that also maybe the names are important. Okay. So then, after horses, your person, whoever I'm connecting to, was like, you're on the tip of my finger. Kept showing me a finger. You're on the tip of my finger. And then they really showed, they were showing me very specifically, would it be the third button? Yeah, the third button. There's unbuttoning the third button really slowly and so particular. They just kept showing me this button, and again, tip of the finger, unbuttoning. And I was like, okay, I guess we're going sexy again. But then it zoomed in. It took me in to, like, the, I guess, I don't know, the slit. I'm sure there's a proper name for this. And the circle. And when they pulled it out, I saw, like, a 1 and a 0. So then I was like, oh, this is about the number 10. And I sat with that for a second. I'm still not sure. Again, we'll see where this goes. But they're also, it's a very fat or masculine, feminine. The two coming together, undoing, coming together. But yeah, undoing the third button, hand on the chest, like going back to the button too, because we'll swing back around to it, because I'm also not sure. It's all gonna tie together. If you know enough about my videos, I just follow the thread. Oh, flames are going crazy again. Okay. So with the button, then with zooming in, they showed me, I think it's, again, something in the Bible, something about looking through the eye of a needle. Yeah, so we have that. We'll put that to the side, because then really the next thing that when I was lying in bed and showing me, so with this whole chest undoing the button, they're really, and I don't have really exposed collarbones, but they were really showing more of a woman's like really beautiful collarbones. And then they were showing me two little birds, you know, like kind of like a chickadee or like a whiskey jack, like the little fat fluffy ones, but they're blue. So it's two, but the two are like just one person, but they're two. So what they're showing me is this little fat fluffy bird that comes into making, there's like this hollow in the collarbone that this person has. Again, I don't have those types of collarbones, so I'm gonna try to do it. And this little bird fluffing up, they're like nesting, making a little nest in your collarbones, so that they can whisper sweet nothings into your ear, but that when you go out into the day, when you're on business, they just sit there, they just hunker in for the day. And what they showed me, and if you know anything about little birds, they're fucking spicy as fuck. It's like a soap opera. My favorite thing, I call it bird fight, because it is. Go sit by like a cedar tree or bush, because there's different trees that the birds use things for. So birds have trees that they socialize in, birds have trees that they just keep their nests in, and birds have trees that they eat from. So I call it the social bush, the social tree. And if you've ever taken the time to notice, invariably at some point, a bird fight breaks out. And honestly, it's better than a soap opera. Watching a little bird fight with little birds, they're spicy as fuck. I delight in it. I think it's great. And so, yeah, I think I like to do is call, when I'm with my son, is like, we'll be like, oh, bird fight. And then we just watch it and it's fun. So, but going to the owl deck, one of my readings as of late, the Empress in here, it's their grumpy little faces, but I see this cute little bird, like when he's looking at you, oh, just sweet, fluffy, tender, again, like whispering, just loves to be in your neck, in your ear, talking to you, you know? But then when they turn around into your collarbones and they're scanning, it's like their eyes are scanning, and it's with that grumpy, I gotta get the Empress. Oh, here she is, yeah. Well, she doesn't look as fierce. Let's find the one that has a really, that King of Pentacles, kind of, it's the King of Pentacles that has like the grumpiest look on his face, but I feel like this is the expression. I just see, okay, King of Penties, where are you? Let's go. Sorry, folks. It's when I get a vision. It's so clear, but it's also, it cracks me up because I just see this fat, cute, fluffy, and when they're interacting with you, it's so tender. It's so, yeah, I'm just adorable. Yes, this look, this grumpy look. And then when they turn around your little collarbones and they're scanning, because I feel like what they do is that as you're going about your day, like they're kind of like this weird spiritual protector. They sit on your collarbones and they're scanning. And if they see other people locking in on you, it's like those eyes locking on them, and it's like lasers, and they just zzz, poof. Like, oh, this is, yeah. I was gonna even say that maybe this is a Scorpio reading. I got like really, we had very Scorpio vibes of like protecting, and very like, fuck around and find out, my guy. Fuck around and find, like, I beg of you, just try it. Try me today. Please, look at my queen. Please, look at my queen wrong. Please come incorrect, please. Bird fight. Yeah. But not, again, I can't stress enough because I really, again, I don't like devolved energy of like, there's like a very fine line of protectiveness and jealousy that that is cute and then not okay. It's a very fine line, and I take that seriously because I don't like the devolved version. Like I don't. Do you know what I mean? It's a very fine line, but this energy, like I don't know how to describe it, but I feel it's more cute. It's more cute, but also it's serious. Like this person, again, don't fuck with the pack. Don't fuck with the pack. Very Scorpio. Okay, well, anyway, now that we got that out of the way. Okay, so we have the two blue. Yeah, we have that. Okay. Okay, so going back to horses. So I'm hearing Patti Smith just on horses, 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 horses. And then they showed me this image. Now, if anyone has ever been to the desert in the Four Corners of the United States, one of my favorite, I love the Four Corners, like Arizona, New Mexico, that is my place. I belong to a lot of places, but my affinity for that specific region, every time I go, I cry. Like the land, it's like going home. But they're showing me the mesas, the four mesas in the desert. I think they refer to them as the mitts, the mesas. And so they're showing me this Arizona desert and these wild horses, like hundreds and hundreds. They're galloping, and it's like this, yeah, kind of like an afternoon day. They're running this way. Would that be west? It's like I'm seeing a huge painting. It's like a 40-foot by 20-foot painting. So, but then it's like a moving thing. So I'm seeing all these horses, but then it's like just below the topsoil. And they're kind of referred to it as like Sleeping Beauty. But there's like this person who's kind of just below the surface. They're just laying there asleep or something. And this pounding, this thunder of the horses, and the horses' hooves are kind of kicking up this light topsoil, the dust, and it's kind of unearthing this person. And I'm not really sure where this goes yet, but they're really, the emphasis really is on this region too. Like I kept hearing Arizona, Navajo Nation, the Diné, Hopi. This ties into the Native American Church. So maybe I've got some people from this region tuning in because I'm also getting real Two-Spirit vibes. So again, this reading is not going to be for everyone. Also, if you are anti-anything, if you are anti-queer, trans, people of color, if you're anti-fat, if you're anti-equity, if you're anti-poor, not only is this not the channel for you, but like this message is not for you. It's like we can just cut our ties right now. We're going to call the herd very quickly. So they're showing me, because then they're showing me going back to the buttons. So the peyote plant, they refer to as buttons. And on my tattoo of this skull, I had a friend once, he's a part of the Native American Church. He was pointing out the eyes, it's these flowers. And he was like, oh, it's like the peyote buttons. But then it goes back to this button and then being brought, zooming in to see through the eye of the needle. And there's always a firekeeper in the ceremony. There's a firekeeper and water woman, going back to, again, the energy of fire and water, the masculine and the feminine. The crescent moon. So I'm going back to peyote, and there's a fellow named, I believe, Elliot Cohen. I could be wrong with the name. he's a fellow that works with, instead of being like a more traditional herbalist, he went and studied with various people all over the world, but he learned that he could actually just talk to the spirits of the plants. And the plants' spirits are, you don't have to actually use the physical form. They actually will just work with you. So I'm getting a real sense that whoever I'm tuning into that's from the region, like the Four Corners, that the peyote, that one of the spirits, and forgive me if I'm not talking about this correctly, but the spirit of peyote is a friend to you. They would want to work with you. And I'm also getting the sense, because last night I really got into going back, there's a lot around ancestors. Now, I have a pretty strong Ukrainian background, and then somehow someone on my social media, Ukrainian, I was thinking about the shirts. I've been thinking because I got really into the Ukrainian egg decorating. And then the shirts, they have this embroidery. So again, going back to your own roots. So I started just by looking at the different men's shirts and the style of embroidery and like based off of what region that you would come from in the Ukraine, which led to this woman, I think on Instagram, who does daily like a word of the day in Ukrainian. And I was like, yeah, like, because there was one point when I was living in Toronto, I wanted to get back into my Ukrainian roots. And there's the Ukrainian church that I was going to and whatever. But we all have culturally somewhere that we come from, our family line comes from. And it was just interesting because hearing, it was like the language, even though I have not grown up with Ukrainian being spoken, as soon as she was saying the words, and it just came, like things just come naturally, even like with the Ukrainian egg decorating, like there's just things. And like my love of foods, my whole life, the oak tree was my favorite tree. And then in our family name that I have not taken on, I gave myself my own last name for various reasons, but I do love our family name, but it means the oak tree. And our family line on our property in the Ukraine, there is this oak tree. And then someone, I didn't know this about the Ukrainian flag, and maybe I'm wrong, I have to look this up, but someone had pointed out that on the Ukrainian flag is the oak tree, or that's their national, I don't know, but I'm getting for some of you, especially with this Navajo, like Arizona region, perhaps some of you, for whatever reasons, have lost connection to your roots or different ceremonies, different rituals, different traditions, even language. And they're really encouraging you to go back, even if just a little bit. I was so excited. My whole new thing right now is like, I'm just going to get into Ukrainian embroidery. I mean, I love Ukrainian food. I make it all the time, but I'm like, I'm gonna learn Ukrainian. Fuck yeah. And there's a Ukrainian folk camp that I had really wanted to go to before COVID hit. And they do all the traditional, like the arts, like, oh yeah, I don't know. There's just things. So I'm really getting a sense working with your roots, going back to the roots, your ancestors who want to work with you. Now I have Greek and Akkadian. So like on my grandmother's side, who I talk about, we're from the New Brunswick region. And the Mi'kmaq is in some of our family, like the French, the Mi'kmaq. And that land, like there's just, even if you haven't known it, it's in our DNA. We carry with us the 14 generations of our ancestors. On my father's side, I didn't know them. I know that we're Greek. But even though I culturally have not grown, there's certain things that will come through where all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, it's in my DNA. So there's something there. Okay. Okay, going back to, the wrinkles. All bodies are good bodies. All bodies are good bodies. I feel like I'm tapping into some people in a wide spectrum. I'm seeing someone in a wheelchair. I'm seeing someone with like skin conditions, large burn scars, pigmentation, stretch marks, the wrinkles, especially if you're a mom. giving birth to your babies, your body changes. And all I keep hearing is just like, all bodies are good bodies. And if you don't feel lovable right now, or again, this timing, perfection, going back to Virgo, you have to wait to fix certain conditions before you can be deemed lovable. And going back to the eye of the needle, there's something about the lens of love that when someone is your counterpart, where it's a soul to soul connection, our body is like a rental car. It's your spirit that literally is emanating through this skin, these bones that gives us the shine. So, and I don't like to use the word disability, so I'm going to just say different abilities. So we all come in different packages, and this idea, how we judge our own bodies, how we go into the world and judge other people's bodies, it's so fucked up, my people. And again, we can be fat phobic, but then we can also judge people for being too small, too thin. It's just like, you can't win. Oh yeah, I'm hearing okay, there's an artist, Orlan, Orlan. She's incredible. She's French, out of Paris. Her whole body of work, she would undergo different plastic surgeries and get different time period pieces that were considered beautiful. So she would get like an Egyptian nose, different lips from a different time period, and she would undergo these surgeries awake. Okay, whatever. She's coming through. But it's this idea of like, in different time periods, you were considered beautiful if you were big and fat, because it meant that you were healthy. It meant that your tribe knew how to hunt. Like, historically, like, there's all these things. I don't know. I keep hearing all bodies are good bodies. All bodies are good bodies. You're so lovable. And if someone makes fun of your body, or if someone doesn't choose you because of something, just know that is not your person. Do not internalize that. Do not fucking internalize that. You know what I mean? And here's the thing though. We all have preferences. Like desire is real. Like there's just some people, like for instance, I worked in a camp, an oil rig camp. I would never work in oil again, let me just say this. But it was interesting, it taught me a lot. But I did these long rotations. And I've always been blessed with always one angel. And there was a fellow, he was my best bud, Michael McDonald. He was a Virgo. I still think about him to this day. Oh God, wherever you are, Michael McDonald, I fucking love you so much. Here's the thing. I loved him so much with all of my heart. All of my heart. And yeah, he had a big fat crush on me. And I honestly wished, I remember praying, being like, God, like, allow me to be in love with this person, because the connection was so strong. And to this day, it's been over 20 years, I still think about this person. The love is so real. So going back to preference and desire, like, you can't force something that isn't there. And that's different than being judgmental. Like just being like, ew, I hate fat people, they're disgusting. Ew, I hate men who have penises that are not anything less than 8 inch, like something stupid. Like really like these crazy parameters. Or like, oh, I don't like people with stretch marks, it's disgusting. I'm like, fuck off. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, I'm getting I feel like I got my queers, the LGBTQA2. Sorry guys, I also have like a head injury, so I'm not being disrespectful if I can't remember all the fucking letters on this, but basically any flavor in that community, I feel, because I put on these shorts last night, my Pink Flamingo shorts, and then I was being called to the movie Pink Flamingo. Pink Flamingo is by John Waters. So again, the name coming up again, John. Maybe there's a real John happening here. And Divine always starred in John Waters. And then I like that because the name Divine. So I'm getting, there's some, oh, that was the other thing. So what I'm sensing is maybe there's someone in the crowd who hasn't realized yet that they're gonna love someone, they're about to fall in love with someone that they would never expect to fall in love with. I love these types of stories. Actually, one of my good friends, her mom was married for like a gazillion years to her dad. And she met this woman one day and was just like, oh my God, that's the love of my life. And she was like, I'm getting the sense, yeah, there's something about bodies. Bodies are bodies, are things, and falling in love with different types. And also, I am really feeling people who feel like there's something about them that someone wouldn't love about them. So untrue. And also, just know, you're living life to please yourself. You're not here to please other people. Let me assure you. Here, let's get real talk. I'm going to share something. When I was 33, I decided to transition female to male. And when I was talking to my sister about it, the first thing out of her mouth was, she was like, oh, do you think anyone's gonna love you if you transition? Isn't that the most fucked up thing? And I remember thinking like, oh my God, as if I'm gonna base this decision whether someone may or may not love me. And also, those people would not be my people anyways. So like, if there's people, again, going to family too, who we give our power away to. At the end of the day, everything in your life is about you and spirit, getting right with yourself, returning home. Everything is about returning back to self, getting right with self, and the only person really you should be convening with is you and spirit. No other person's people, places, and things, their opinions. Now, it's not to say that you shouldn't. I do believe at times, of being open, going to people you really trust and respect. And that means, when I say trust and respect, it means that they're walking the talk. They exemplify the things that you want in your life. It's not lip service. And they're people who you would really trust. Because, for instance, going back to when I was thinking of transitioning, and then I did, it took me all of 2 weeks. But in this process, one of my closest and dearest friends at that time was an ex-girlfriend. And it was crazy to see people's claim to my body. No one has any right to your goddamn body. Not your mom, not your dad, not your sister, not your ex-lovers, not your principal, not the police officer. Like, no one has any claim to your body. And this really ties into the United States right now. Like, fuck right the fuck off. Like, we hold no dominion over people's bodies. We have no right to be going around judging people's bodies, telling people what we think of their bodies. Like, oh, fuck, shut the fuck up. Sorry, I'm getting sweaty. I'm very passionate about this today. I'm looking at my dragon. I'm feeling very dragon today. But yeah, this person that I considered to be a best friend, and we hadn't even been together in like 20 something goddamn fucking years. And they didn't want me to transition because of their past history with my body. There's something here, people. There's something about, you might need to start calling the herd in your life. The people who think, like, especially if you fall in love with someone, maybe, and especially in this time of division, there's so much hatred, our hatred of people of color, poor people. Again, there's a real intersectionality here. So like, because spirit then, I could hear this spirit not talking to me, but talking to someone in the crowd, saying, what do you know about love? What do you know about love? And really being like, a bit sassy, but being like, and kind of like calling you up to the front. Okay, so you've been walking around, you've been making judgments, and you want to claim your right to a soulmate, a divine counterpart. What do you know about love? And then there's a bit of a softness, but being Be philosophical with yourself. What do you know about love? What do you know about loving yourself? What do you know about loving people? Catch yourself. How do you go out in the world? How are you, what lens are you looking at people through? The world through? Yourself through? Again, the eye of the needle. So, to whomever is feeling tender and insecure, and think about it like this. When people have judged your body or made rude comments, you know how like we internalize that? Think about how fucked that up that is. That our first response is to internalize that and being like, oh my God, you're right, there's something defective about me, and to take the shame. No, girl, fucking arms out and be like, who the fuck do you think you fucking are? What gives you the fucking right? No, ma'am, sir. I think you've stepped into the wrong checkout line. Like, no. So if you're feeling, I'm really getting a sense, I'm really seeing someone, to be honest, to like in a really toxic, verbally abusive relationship where they would make fun of you, make fun of your body, make you feel less than. Maybe you've just delivered a baby and they're making fun of your body, or maybe they're making fun of your different abilities or your desirability. There's a really interesting book, I believe by Sadie Benning, could be wrong. I wish I could remember the book and I don't have it here. But she talks about the intersectionality of desirability and being poor, like the working class. And I really related to that because I grew up really, really poor. And currently right now I don't have a pot to piss in. And thinking again about the conditions of like asking myself, does me not having a certain number in the bank account, does that truly make me unlovable? I don't know. There's something about the crowd today. I cannot stress enough that all bodies are good bodies. All, like, whoever you are and whatever package you come in, female, male, gender neutral, brown, black, white, yellow, purple, short, small, fat, thin. All bodies are good bodies. Again, as God's people, as Spirit's people, like in whatever you identify with, as God's people, we don't crawl before anyone. We are not above anyone and we are not below anyone. Quit crawling, stand up tall, stand up proud. Sorry, that's also very, it's very, what's the term? I'm being very ableist there. But the sentiment of being like, crown on your head, crown on your head. We belong to the universe. Holy shit, 33 minutes. Okay. Man, I don't know if I'll post this. We'll see. Okay, well, let's pull a card. I really want to know more about this, again, let's go Kim K. Not that Kim K. This Kim K. Kim Krantz. Again, I just love this person. I think they're the type of work that they do, just incredible. Okay, so yeah, I feel like, again, there's more about this, the needle. Jesus said something, I'm sure, about the needle, the eye of the needle, something about the kingdom of heaven within, but I'm seeing worlds open up. And going back to peyote, sight, and going back to what I was saying too in my other reading about lack, is just about a lack of sight. What do you know about love? It's like, do we even know how to use our eyes? Like, this is the thing I learned in art school, to be honest. It's like, there's so much detail around us at all. Like, there's so much that goes unseen. This, it's not even a spiritual thing. We just don't see. We're not seeing. Oh, wait, before I forget, because I didn't write it down. Going back to Rahu, the head of the snake, the gobbling energy, instant gratification, the slowing down, the undoing of one button, savoring, satiating, slowing down, enjoying, taking in the details, the richness. There's so much richness in details. But since kind of the Industrial Revolution, and especially now with technology, instant gratification, we're in the time period of the head of the snake with no body. We're just consuming, we're gobbling, can never be satiated. But we're in the year of the snake. And they're showing me the Ouroboros. The head and the body come back together. So now it's the full, all things circle. We're coming back into our head and our hearts, alignment, the two. Okay, sorry guys. I just forgot that and I didn't write it down. Oh boy. Who is this reading for? I'm not sure, but... Well, going back to perfectionism, like, I just know. And I really don't. I'm so past caring anymore. And looking at my own perfectionism, yeah, my page, this channel, my ratings are not for everyone. Oh my god, these are the same cards I pulled out for that other reading. Wow. Fuck. And I've been shuffling. Whoa. Some of these are just... Okay. Whoa. Okay, yeah, they're just... Wow. Oh my god. It's literally the same cards from the other reading. Wow. That's crazy, because I've used this deck... This reading was a while ago. This deck has been shuffled. Oh, there's another one in there. Oh my god. Wow. Okay, so the first one that flew out was the village. And I was thinking about this. Going back to communities, the ways that we're going to be rebuilding, they were showing me that there's all these different communities that people belong to, but it's based off of one part of the identity. But in a lot of these communities, there's so much divisiveness and like lateral violence within the communities. And that the new communities, it's not a community, it's a village, where it's not about identity, it's about going back to, help me with the spirit, how do I say this? It's not about a singular identity, it's about the collective. It's about living together collectively in harmony, but with all, again, very Hopi, the rainbow tribe, like all the different flavors where people can just fucking be, as long as you're not being a dirt kicking snake. That who cares? Who cares who you love? Who cares how your body looks? Who cares about, what you want to wear or how you want to express yourself? Like, as long as you're not bringing harm to people, your energy is correct. Who gives a fuck? And then the village is about the supports that you bring to one another, elevating, uplifting, supporting, helping. Okay, so now that these cards are back out, okay, what order? Okay, so we had the village, that was first. Okay, and then it was threshold. And this is what I feel like, we're on the threshold. Yeah, the flames are just going berserk. Yeah, we are being birthed right now. And kind of look at the... See, like, this and this and this. Yeah, like, something wants to be birthed. And then who was next? Yeah, the siren. The red egg. The ruby. Sorry, I'm thinking about something. Someone else referenced a red egg. I'm trying to remember, but it's caught my attention. A red egg. But this also reminds me of ruby. I have a little ruby. It's one of my stones. What does ruby do? Oh, maybe someone's name is Ruby. I love that name. That's a great name. Ruby. The siren. Okay, well, we'll pull a card on that. There's something here. Okay. Okay. And then, who was it? The mentor. See, again, going back to, I'd said in my other reading, it's like we gotta burn it down to birth in the new. Yeah, this is all like the Ouroboros. This is what I'm saying. Rahu and Ketu come together now. They're not separate. They're coming back. And so instead of the dirt-kicking snake, it's the Kundalini. And then going back to the other deck, in the animal deck, the cosmic egg, where it's the cosmic egg. Yeah, we've got so much egg going on here. Even this ruby, like egg. There's so much birthing. Whoops. Egg. Owl. Spirit. We're at 42 minutes. I don't understand. Okay. Well, there's a message in here somewhere. Okay, let's get some quick cards. Let's read. I want to read actually about the village. I'm going to read from the book. I don't think I'll read all of these, but there's something here. There's something here we need to hear. Okay, the village. The village. 145. Oh yeah, and then going back to the roots, the ancestors. Okay, the village, the hometown. There's something about returning home, going back. For any of you out in Arizona, going maybe back to your particular res, you're going back. The hometown, the family, the tribe. Yes. The village presents us with a conundrum. On one hand, it's the place that feels most like home, the place to which you can always return. Nostalgia and comfort draw us back. On the other hand, it's the very place you must leave in order to grow. Yeah, it's like you've left and now you need to come home. Like literally, I feel like someone has left wherever they come from in the four corners, Arizona, and you're returning home. There's real emphasis on learning language and going back to traditional things, traditional foods, traditional language, your elders, taking time with your grandparents. There's going to be a lot of elders right now exiting. So if you want your stories to understand, it's the one thing I got to do with my grandma. It was a couple years. I didn't get to see my grandma very often, but right before my last visit with her, I went through our family tree. Our aunt had written out the whole family story, and I got to read it and then ask my grandma about it. Okay. Around the village, an unspoken boundary exists. One most villagers do not want you to cross. Though some support your leaving, still you hear whispers of doubt as you venture beyond its borders, leaving them behind. And then going back to family, there's something about returning home to your roots, but there's family members in your life that need to fucking go. Chip chop. Like chip fucking chop. Especially around something about queerness, two-spirit, again, different abilities, judging who you're choosing to love. It could be a race, like a racial thing. Those people, friends, family members, whoever the fuck, get them the fuck out of here. They gotta go. Again, no time for this. We are galloping on quick-moving horses. We are on the threshold. It is time to clear out this fucking bullshit. The energy of the village is present anytime we feel restricted by a certain group, community, family, place, or ideology. Exactly. It may have served us in the past, yet staying within its parameters will never satiate, going back to the word satiate, our thirst for life. Excuse me. Thank the village for all it has provided, knowing you will someday return. For now, the world awaits. We're creating a new world. It's the new village. I'm really hearing, like, if you don't know, go look up the Hopi tradition, the Hopi, what's the word? Sorry, guys. Sometimes, also when I wake up, it doesn't come easily. The Hopi prophecy. Returning to the village is as important as leaving it. This can be thought of as a completion or an integration of what you learned out in the wild. Yeah. Even if it's just to return home to leave again, there's something about going to claim something about the ancestors, reclaiming your roots but leaving some things behind. Because you can't always throw the baby out with the bathwater. The village moves with you as it is more of a mindset than a physical place. When light, intimate, rooted, intergenerational, communal. When dark, small-minded, gossipy, trapped, restricted. Whew. Yeah, my heart feels like all those horses thundering around across the desert. Oh, if there was a place that I could live, well, there's a lot of places I would love to live. I love the desert. I love Arizona, New Mexico so much. Speaking of home, that really speaks to my heart. And that dust, I've literally saved dust from the desert. I love it, that red earth. Oh, one day I hope to return there. Okay. I want to read the one. That one's calling to me next, because I don't think I read it the last time it came out in the reading. What does it have to say? This big egg. 121. Okay. The one. Non-duality. One love. Unus mundus. I hope I said that right. Right. Oh, God. Things are in my eyes. Okay. Stay focused. It's all good. Our ability to experience this archetype firsthand is limited. It comes in brief and potent moments that we are left to savor, going back to savoring, savor and satiate for a lifetime. The one is both the energy that unites all living beings and our capacity to sense this intimate union. This archetype eludes us most of our lives, appearing as a concept in distant galaxy. Yet, yeah, the fire crackled there. Yet, when we are in the midst of its power, a solemn reverence falls across all the land. We glimpse ourselves in the vastness of all consciousness and are neither small nor large within that field. We are neither important nor unimportant. Going back to as God's people, we're not above or below. All duality fades away, and we are left with what is, the precious knowing that life is a gift, and we are both the giver and the receiver of this fortune. Whew, that almost made me cry. I'm trying to keep it together, folks. Not that I need to keep it together. The unus mundus is a circle representing the unity of existence. It is possible that the beginning and the end of all things is love. Going back to the circle, the button. Oh, the candle just went out. I feel like that was the sound of the patriarchy, or like this power that's happening. The old fire is going out because we're on the threshold of the new fire. Yeah, all those old limiting ways of being, thinking, archetypes, done. Yeah, the button. The eye of the needle. And that's all there is love. This is what I've been saying. It is said that Om is the primordial sound of the universe and that all other mantras are born from it. I have been doing Om for the last 4 years. It is one of the few things that I do, especially because I roughly drive like 100, I'm not kidding, 100,000 kilometers a year. That's why my car died. Currently don't have a car. I'm not flying. I'm not flying right now. I'm on my feet. Yeah. Again, the hum, this low vibrate, the humming. And going back to what Sadhguru was saying about creation came from the sound, more like a roar of a lion. This hum, like this, yeah. And he talks about Okay, we're at 51 minutes. Jesus. Okay. Oh, sorry. We're gonna, because I keep getting a vision. Going back to the Scorpio and that bird energy, I kept seeing 2 black dogs. Why I felt really, it was like for a lot of Scorpios in the crowd. So these 2 birds, but I also got a sense of, yeah, the underworld, that this person who loves you, because again, there always feels like there's a divine counterpart in here. These 2 black dogs, very Egyptian. I don't know, do they have a name? I'm seeing more the Egyptian one, but then I was also being called to this deck, and then I thought of this, but I'm seeing, I feel like it's the Egyptian. I feel like I see 2 big black dogs that guard. Maybe it's they guard the knowledge, the temples, the pyramids, the pharaoh. I'm gonna have to look into this. To be honest, you know, most of my life I didn't really have an affinity for anything Egyptian until the last few years. It's like, oh, excusez-moi, get out of here. The ruby. The fire and the seed. Okay. There's been things, the micro and the macro, there's been things for you as well as the whole world. There have been these 2 pillars, these dark dogs, these black dogs that are protecting. It's about timing. More is being revealed. The timing had to be right. I had different affinities for different things in my life because they had different pockets of knowledge that I needed. They were like stepping stones. But also to protect you. Protect your gifts so that no one else could take them. I'm going back to this dragon's eye. Oh, the Ouroboros. Again, all things circle, but it reminds me of the Ouroboros, but then this egg, the oneness. I'm really feeling dragon today. I feel like I really relate to dragon energy. In fact, I feel like, where? Okay, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to, the tower in this one is like my favorite tower card because I feel like if you really wanted to know my duality, my 2 sides, this will be a perfect understanding. And this is what it feels like with those birds, the 2 fat, fluffy birds. Hold on, where are you, tower? You're badass. It's this dragon. Oh, just incinerating. Yes. It seems really dark, but see it as a protector. See this dragon? See how he is just incinerating, burning it up. Everyone that's not coming correct towards you, everyone that wants to, again, take their garbage and put it onto you, make you feel ugly, make you feel less than. And the duality, this and that are true. I feel like this. I feel like I'm this strength card, this tenderness, And I'm also this. Going back to love, you can be a lover, but also be a warrior. Do you know what I mean? This and that are true. You can be soft and you can be fierce. And they're both, what's the word? Like, I feel like there's people who would judge you, like, if they only know your softness one way or they expect it, and then if you were to pull this out because of some bullshit, and then they're like, I never knew you, this is your real side. No. We're complex. We're nuanced. We're not just one thread, one way of being. Yeah, and like in this strength card, there's all these fairies. Like, you can be light and tender, right? Tender, soft. You can be soft. Oh yeah. See, this is kind of the energy I kind of have today, guys. Sorry if it's a little bit much. Sometimes it's a little bit much for me. Oh my god, I never noticed this. There's daisies in the polar bear's fluff. Oh, they've been rolling in the flowers. Oh my god, there's these tiny... Oh god, can we zoom in? Sorry, folks. And there's all these fairies. Yeah, there's always something to tame the beast. Like, tame your beast. And also a polar bear. I grew up with polar bears in the north from the NWT. Polar bears are the man-eaters. Going back to that song, Man-Eater. They're the largest bear on Earth. I love the polar bears. But have you ever seen, again, those photos of drones that have flown over polar bears sleeping in, like, the tundra in a big field and just, like, belly up, paws out, their little babies? Again, fierce and tender. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it here. I don't even know. What did that help anyone? I hope so, because, I mean, even just the message of all bodies are good bodies. You are lovable. And if anyone is making you feel less than, do not internalize that. You need to be like, come again? What did you just say? No. Clearly you have hot dogs for brains. Someone dropped you on your head. Like, clearly you don't know your ass from shinola. Oh, that's the mood today, folks. Again, let go of your Virgo perfectionism. If you want to wear, I mean, I am gonna iron my shirt, but yeah. Okay. Birds on the chest, the tip of the finger, the collarbones. What do you know about love? Yeah, I would even just recommend, if any of you haven't done it, like, I'm sure you see me in all of my videos, but like putting your hand over your heart to just connect, to get really real with yourself, to be honest with yourself, be honest with your heart. But I'm also seeing, again, this bird person, just, yeah, just that third button and just like wanting to put their hand on your chest, but then also sitting in your collarbone nest and just like that grumpy owl, and I just see lasers coming out of their eyes, scanning and just being like, tss, tss, just blasting people before you would even notice. Yeah, dragon vibes. That tower, that's their energy too. Okay, well that was long enough. I'm not gonna keep you guys. I don't even know who's gonna listen to this, but today's Friday. Okay, well, take care out there. It's a beautiful day over here. I'm gonna go walk in the cemetery. Yesterday I went, okay, quick story. An old friend of mine grabbed me yesterday and we went for a walk up this mountain. Oh wait, no, sorry. Speaking of mountain, that's why they wanted me to remind me. Okay, where's the deck? They're showing me sitting at the top, like picture the Andes, the Alps, yeah, big mountain. Okay, kind of like this card now. Where's the other card with the mountains? The two points. The 2 points. Is it this one? Hold on. I want to make sure I get this right. They're showing me a very specific image. Sitting It's like, again, it's a sunny day. I feel like it's the Andes, like in South America, like in like Chile, the Andes. Yeah, it's a crisp sunny day. You're on the top peak. There's something about sitting on the top of a mountain. Because I was on the top of a mountain yesterday. Yeah. But also kind of like this, inverted, where the 2 points meet. But it's very sunny. There's something about the top of this mountain. Yeah, like the sun. And Jesus is really coming through all these readings, I guess because we're coming up close to Easter. But Jesus spent a lot of time alone on the mountain by himself, and I really just get the sense that he was delighted. Like, alone time? Maybe some of you need to go climb a mountain today. I'm gonna go climb the mountain today. The highest peak, alone. But you're not really alone. Some of my best friends are trees. Hand to God. Hand to God. I've spent more in the past 5 years talking to trees than I've talked to people. And if you haven't tried that, I highly recommend it. I've cried over trees. Oh man. I used to live in a city called Hamilton, and there was a park by our house, and there was this big, like, just 1,000-year-old tree, so big. And I used to go spend a lot of time with it. I would sit, it had this perfect little nook in its roots, and I used to just sit in it. I was sad with so many trees, but this tree, and one day they cut it down. Oh, I cried. And then I would sit on its stump and tell it how sorry I was that we're fucking so stupid as humans. Okay, I don't even know where I'm going with this. Holy fuck. Okay. Go climb a mountain today, or go find an elevated pyramid, the point. There's a point here. Being alone. Elevating. Go spend some alone time in an elevated spot. Higher perspective. Be in the sun. Be in the natural world. Get a higher perspective so that 2 points can converge. The threshold. The place where 2 points meet, the threshold. Going back to old Kimmy K. Where are you, threshold? Where 2 points, this is more rounded. Oh, the feminine is curved, the masculine is pointed. Exactly. Oh, see, it all comes together. I don't even know what I know what it means, but I don't know what it means. There's so many people that I'm potentially reading for. Anyway, okay. Well, okay, bless up. That was reading. That was reading. Stay blessed, stay golden out there. Go find a point to converge with. All right.